Welcome to Whispers to a Bride, where we talk about the stuff no one else is talking about. We are going deep on the emotional aspects of getting married, the stress, drama, and turbulence that affects your own sense of identity and your closest relationships. We are talking about what it means to be a bride and how to navigate this sacred time with more grace and ease. I'm your host, Kara Gassabay. As a life coach and therapist, I'm going to be sharing super practical tips so that you can not only rise to the occasion of your wedding, but also your life. Hey guys, it is Kara, and I am so excited to be with you today because I just saw the coolest wedding planner on TikTok, and I just thought his advice was so fabulous, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Obviously, being in wedding world on social media, especially TikTok, like there's so much content and there's so much advice, especially from wedding planners, about how to save money or like do the coolest new thing or have these great escort card displays or, you know, where to get your second dress, how to monogram the bottom of your shoe. I mean, there's so many fun, cool, amazing ideas and tips and tricks and all that stuff. But this guy really stopped me in my tracks because he was like speaking to me and what I care about. And he said when he starts his wedding rehearsals, he gets the bridal party together and says, I need you to do this one thing for me. Get yourself in an attitude of peace, joy, and flexibility. And from there, we will have an amazing wedding weekend. I mean, that is some like mic drop moment because you know wedding rehearsals, they can be like everyone is kind of buzzing. People just got into town. People want to like hang out, connect, chit chat, drink, like have fun. They don't really want to listen to the wedding planner. Everybody thinks they know what they're doing, but like also like everybody thinks their own sidebar conversation like won't be distracting when really like, can we just get down the aisle and back and like everybody. Wedding rehearsals can be a whole thing. As a wedding officiant myself, I have done them. They can be a lot, especially when you have a big bridal party. It can just be so much, right? We are often having like old friends getting together. Maybe they haven't seen each other in a while, or they see each other all the time and like their antics are just like really going strong. And it can be hard to get everyone's attention. And it can be hard to do what this guy did with that little one line pep talk. And that is to set the tone. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to nag you guys, or what's really important is that you guys are all on time, or I need everybody dressed by this time and hair and makeup. Yes, all of those details matter. Yes, all of that is in place and on the clipboard and yada, yada. But what he did was take that brief time that he will have everyone's undivided attention, because that time will be very brief, that you can get a message across. And he used it so strategically to focus on the attitude, right? What is the sort of energetic agreement we're going to have? What's the commitment? What's that social contract we're going to make right now in this group of people? A commitment to peace, joy, and flexibility. So he's saying, without saying, like, we are doing peace, we are not doing drama. So don't start with like, oh, I wish I could go first because like I need to go for a run. Then I get my makeup. Like, we're not doing the drama. We're doing the peace. How can you bring your most peaceful, centered self, not be bringing your like jacked up, dramatic, needy self to the table this weekend? How can you bring your joy? Right? So we're not bringing our judgment, our criticism, our extra idea. We're bringing just joy. So how are we bringing just pleasant, joyful energy to the table? And then a key one is flexibility, because things are going to happen. And a wedding planner is going to be putting in flexibility because he knows for sure things are going to happen. No matter how much planning has gone in, life is life and people are people and things happen. And so telling people up front, like, I'm going to need your flexibility, just primes them for when you then ask for a change to be made. Listen, you're going to walk at this time. Look, you're going to need to carry this. Actually, you're going to need to do this. People are like, oh yeah, I was told about this. I was warned about this. And that just takes that initial emotional response of like, something's gone wrong. What? This doesn't feel. No, we're not having that reaction because we already told you this would require flexibility. So if there are changes, that means everything is going as we expected and predicted, which then leaves people feeling safe, looked out for, taken care of, and all on the same page. Because it's so funny with weddings, like there is such this idea of like perfection. And so when things start to like go differently than expected, people then think the wheels are coming off the bus, when really if you've been in the event world, you know that like that's actually part of the things going well is for weird things to happen in some ways. And so the flexibility, the ability to adapt and to shift and to pivot and to make it work, that is what a really good planner knows how to do. And an even better planner, like this guy, not only knows how to set up the stage for a great event, but knows how to get everybody on the team in the right headspace. Because when you get everybody in the right headspace, the rest is just details, right? Everything else can go fall into place. That's like the coolest thing. And that's what I'm always trying to work with my brides on. Like, if you don't have a wedding planner, or if you have a planner who isn't obviously thinking in the way that this person is thinking, and I think a lot of wedding planners do think like this, but they don't know that they can say that. And I think that is a huge thing to realize. A lot of planners have lots of thoughts on the energy that they want people to bring, but they don't feel that they can ask for that or demand that. But the cool thing about this was it was an invitation. He was inviting everybody to bring those three things. He was explaining the ways in which those three things as the leading attitudes and energies, that is the ingredients for an amazing wedding weekend experience for everyone involved. So he was, you know what I mean? He was really inviting them into it. He wasn't like, I expect or I demand. He was like, here's what's going to work. Here's the game plan. Start with these three things, and I'm going to promise you it's going to end up with like a really fun, fabulous weekend. And so I just loved that approach. And what he was doing was setting the tone and leading the energy. And so if you have a planner that can do that, awesome. If you even want to tell your planner, hey, I know a lot's going to start once we get to that rehearsal. It's like the whole thing is just going to start going like a domino, like the whole weekend, it'll just go fast and a lot's going to happen and there's no pause button. But if we could, start by setting the tone, you could give them this script. Or you as the bride in so many ways will be setting the tone energetically. So two things, you bring your peace, joy, and response and flexibility, right? Like that is your responsibility to embody those things, those traits, that attitude. And then you can even verbalize it the way that this planner did to your people, to your crew, which is your bridal party, your family, like whoever's going to be around you the most. I think that would be so powerful. And again, it matters both ways. I don't think you want to say that like, I need you to be peaceful, I need you to be joyful, and I need you to be flexible. And if you're feeling like super rigid, super stressed, and super chaotic yourself, again, it's very natural to have a ton of feelings. You will not always feel peaceful. You might not always feel joyful. And you might have a tough time being flexible when you've worked on this day for like a year. And yet, saying it and asking others to mirror it back will help you then stay in that same energy. So if you've asked for those three things in other people, the times where you're maybe losing it, but you're seeing those around you exemplifying it, it will bring you back into it, right? Because we mirror each other often in our interactions. It's mirror neurons. It's like a real thing. It's a fascinating thing. It's like, I don't even want to go down that whole thing, but Google mirror neurons and how they work. But it's the reason it can be so satisfying to like watch someone else do something, like watch someone else decorate their house or watch someone else play with a toy or eat a great meal or make a great meal, like the Food Network. We almost feel accomplished, like we did it by watching them do it. That's the power of mirror neurons. Anyway, I just think this little advice, both things, the actual words, the three things that he chose, I think are very, very key. But just the taking of the time and carving out that moment to set the tone and deliver the message, gather the team, and make that sort of social agreement, that social contract of like energetic, like this is the plan, guys, let's go, I think is just genius. And I just really wanted to pass it along because it's, you see a lot of stuff and it's pretty rare that like it can stop you in your track and make you want to share it with everyone you know. And this was one of those times. So you're welcome. I hope it helps. Again, give me feedback, your best advice that you've seen a planner do. I would love to know. And until then, I am taking your appointments. I've got evening appointments, daytime appointments, whatever works for you. If there's something on the calendar, there's a spot on the calendar you don't see and you want it, reach out to me. This is for your bridal session. This is for your one-on-one so that you can make sure you've cultivated your peace, your joy, and your flexibility. It's not easy, especially for the bride. And yet your energy is the most important because you're the one everyone is going to be vibing off of. So do not hesitate to book your bridal session. And until next time, I am wishing you nothing but bridal bliss.